I'm Elaine Clayman from the Elaine Clayman, Justine Bray team, Brown Harris Stevens, and I am thrilled to be doing an interview with my one and only favorite daughter, Justine Bray, the mother of my grandchildren. So hi, Justine. We are in separate locations due to this advent of COVID-19. How are you managing there with the kids?
Overwhelmed, busy market, and busy kids.
That I know. Anyway, today more than ever, we have to be very concerned with protecting sellers and buyers and ourselves. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the marketing that we do and take you from kind of the beginning to the end of the process. So we are a team of functional specialists. I do all the negotiating on the team, and Justine does the marketing and oversees all the salespeople. And Stuart, who's was with us last week, is the person who takes us from the accepted offer to the closing and qualifies the buyers. So we are a very, very well-oiled machine. So Justine, I know we've been having a lot of luck doing Zoom presentations. So how do you think it's been going in general?
We've been Zooming with about a dozen, if not more, sellers, and we have an agent that if they are in the apartment, they will meet with the seller and we can Zoom in from our locations. Or today we had two different sellers at two different locations talking with us in regard to just one apartment that they'll be putting on the market. So it is working out quite well to have the Zoom presentations and talk about the market, the pricing, and where the market will go.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's actually been incredibly intimate in a way to speak to people on Zoom. And you know, our wonderful brokers visit the apartment, so the owner sees exactly who's going to be showing the apartment, and then they meet with us on Zoom. And I think that the conversations have been very comfortable and successful, frankly. So we're listing apartments, and it also gives the sellers a chance to meet with our third partner, Stu, who's our transaction manager. So in a way, they're meeting the main people on the team they're going to deal with. You're finding the same thing, right? It's comfortable.
It is very comfortable. I agree. It almost feels like we're all together, although safely not.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yes.
Exactly. There's a security. So once we talk to a seller and we list an apartment, then maybe you could talk a little bit about the next steps and what you have to do to get the apartment on the market. And you know, I'll ask you a couple of questions as I think of them, but what's the first thing that happens after you generate an agreement and the seller signs off on it?
Well, after we've reviewed the market conditions and the comps, we then send the forms. There's a lot of forms that need to be filled out, especially with fair housing, liability, and COVID. So in addition to our agreement and our disclosure, which we already had, we now have a COVID form and a limited liability form, as well as a fair housing form that the sellers need to fill out. And the buyers will have to do the same when it comes to liability and COVID when entering an apartment to make sure that people are saying they are safe on both sides.
Yeah, it seems like there's a tremendous amount of paperwork, and I know that a lot of this paperwork, I believe, has to be handed in within 24 hours or 48 hours, and it's a cumbersome but important process. So then the seller sends back the paperwork and management signs off on it. And then how quickly do you get in for photography, and what kind of photography are we doing? And, you know, tell us a little bit, if you would, about that.
Absolutely. So we've stepped up our marketing with COVID because it's important to do a virtual tour as well. And we pay for that. It's a 3D walkthrough of an apartment, and it gives the buyer an immersive experience and more dimension. So if somebody is not comfortable in going out, they can actually feel like they're walking through the apartment safely and comfortably at home. It really is a great representation of an apartment. But in addition to that, we're taking photography, doing the virtual 3D walkthrough, drawing up floor plans, and taking photos, which we will both have the media as photos and then set to music. So there's a lot of different experiences that the buyer can feel before even entering the apartment. And then, of course, the showings. We make sure that everybody is safe and clean and masked, and we wipe down everything that the buyers have touched in the apartments after each showing.
Yeah, it's quite a process and an important process. And I know that I'm getting a lot of emails from potential buyers actually requesting the 3D tour and requesting more than photography. And fortunately, on the apartments over $1 million, we're able to really uh, back the apartments up with all of the social media. So after this is all on the market, and we know we have a wonderful broker on the team, Lara Misrak, who has been helping us tremendously on all of the marketing, and we can't thank her enough. She's been such a great support for the team. So what exactly has Lara been doing with the apartments that we get?
Well, we have really stretched ourselves into the media aspect of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we have our own YouTube channel, as you're watching now. So we're really
sign up for that, Justine.
And sign up, because the more subscribers, the more people we know are watching, and the better off we are monitoring our numbers.
Exactly. I think with the 100 people signing up, and we're still the new kid on the block. If you have a Gmail account, please do sign into the Elaine Clayman, Justine Bray team. We appreciate your support. So it goes out to social media, and we are finding that that is working. And I know that we're also sending it out to 13,000 people in a database, and every week we're sending out a video and information about the market. And have you found that we're getting a lot of emails? It seems to me we're getting a lot of people who are seem pretty struck by what we're doing and responding.
Absolutely. And not only are we advertising the apartments that we represent, but we're also giving information, sometimes funny, sometimes serious, but we are giving information that is important. So people do like to read and then see the apartments that follow. It's a good lead in.
Right. Yeah. So Justine, I know you've also been making sure all the corporations get the listings in the HR departments. I know you've been busy with that. So it's quite a time-consuming but worthwhile process. And because of our structure and the paradigm of our team, we are actually able to hit a lot of touch points that many other brokers who, if they're working alone or with one other person, cannot necessarily do. So the paradigm we have seems to work very well. So Justine, thank you for
My pleasure.
all of your marketing expertise. I'm glad you got your degree in marketing, because that's making all the difference on our team. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you next week.